that what is a software. Software is a set of instructions organized logically to perform a specific task. Set of instructions organized logically to perform a specific task. For example, we have Odus Plus. Odus Plus is a registration system, so we can add courses, we can delete courses. It's an academic system. ATM is to deal with the transactions, so we can withdraw money, we can deposit money, we can transfer cash. Hospital management system, so we have specific function of hospital management system that we can take appointment, we can check to the medical doctor, and then he can prescribe test, blah blah blah. So these are the different functions of hospital management system. So we have discussed the example of academic system, registration system, ATM, transaction system, hospital management system for deal with the patient's specific function. So that's a software. Then we have design. But before that, all the methodologies have three common phases. We have analysis, we have design, and we have implementation. So before we go to the design, we must understand what's analysis. Analysis, we compare two or more things to identify the differences between them. When we say system analysis, we compare existing system with the new system to identify the detailed requirements, to identify the differences between the previous system, the current system customer is using, and what is the new system he wants to develop. Comparison of the current system or existing system the customer is using and what is the new system he wants to develop. So we compare both of them to identify detailed requirements. So normally we use the term analysis to compare two or more than two things. For example, I have two sections of 252 or 251 or 456. So I compare them, that which of the section is better than the other section. So that's the comparison between the two sections, and that's the analysis to identify that how many students have a better analytical skill, designing skill, writing skill, communication skill. We can use different parameters to compare them. Similarly, our objective as a system analysis or system analyst to compare two systems to identify the differences, farak between them. So what are the new requirements and what customer is currently using. So in this way, after analysis, we have detailed requirements. So then after the analysis, we have design. Formulate the alternative solutions of the problem to select the best one. Because we have architect. System architect is a job. We have every company, software company has system architect. His job is to define the architecture of the system. So at the design level, after the requirements, we have clear-cut requirements. He has previous experience in specific domain, in specific area. For example, every software company has list of products they are dealing, like Microsoft, like Google, like Apple, IBM. If I talk about STC in Pakistan, we have NetSol, we have System, we have Technologics, Adamsoft, NextGen, NextBridge. These are different software companies. Okay, I was discussing the system architect. His job is to design the architecture. But before you design something, you must have experience in that domain. So system architect is working in specific domain like Microsoft architects, Apple, Google, IBM, HP, STC, a NetSol company in Pakistan. So he has experience of previous projects. So based on the requirements, he will design alternative solutions. And then this alternative solutions of the architecture of the system, he will present to the team. And all team members are present and architect will present. And then they will select the most suitable solution for the current project. 3 or 4 solutions. For example, Khalid bin Walid Road. Everybody knows this is the very popular market in Jeddah for hardware and for mobile phone. So if I am taking lecture in FCIT, in King Abdulaziz University, and for example, room number 11 or 5 or 6 lab, 7 lab 11, and I ask Nawaf, Mr. Nawaf or Mr. Faris Farid, can you go to Khalid bin Walid Road and bring one DVD drive or monitor or keyboard or for example headphone, because we need headphone for the lectures, online lectures for Blackboard, and come within 1 hour from Sulaimania to Khalid bin Walid Road. Now you are not new to Jeddah. You already know different routes that we can go by Palestine, we can go by Tahliya, we can take Medina Road, and we have shortcuts. So your mind, your brain will generate alternative routes to reach Khalid bin Walid Road. And then you will try to take the short or the most suitable route which has less traffic, because maybe Palestine is very crowded, sometimes Tahliya is very crowded. So you will go some shortcut and you will reach Khalid bin Walid Road, purchase the hardware and come within 1 hour or 2 hours, for example, is the deadline. So because of your experience, you know which of the route will take you to Khalid bin Walid Road from Sulaimania and come back within that time, deadline. Because every project we have end date, deadlines are there. We have to finish within the deadline. So we have experience. Based on the experience of the previous projects, the architect will show different solutions to the team, and then team will pick the most suitable one for the current project they have to develop. So that's the design. How many types of design we have? We have logical design and we have physical design. So what is the logical design? Logical design means we have we need to design forms and reports for at the front end. We have interfaces and dialogue, we have normalization. I already covered definition of form in 251. How to define a form? Form is a container that hosts other components. For example, text box, label box, check box, command button, option box. So drag and drop. So that's a form. Is a technically, for example, NetBeans form, Visual Studio form. So we can drag and drop in a visual environment. We have an environment, it's called IDE. Very good. Integrated development environment. Integrated development environment in which we have ready-made components available. Ready-made Like you can purchase ready-made clothes, shirt, pant, tie, top. Ready-made components available to develop RAD applications. What is RAD? You have RAD model as well. Rapid application development. So integrated development environment in which ready-made components available to develop RAD applications very fast. If, for example, we take language like C, C++, COBOL, Fortran, which are structured languages, we don't have visual environment, we don't have IDE environment. You have to do hard coding to design your form, and then you will make them functional, and then you will write the actual code for the application or the system you are developing. So you have to design first your form, then the second part of the code will make it functional, like text box, label box, command button, and then for output another text box, another label box, and then you will make it functional by writing another code, second code, and third code you will develop actual system. You write code to develop actual system. So that's very hard coded environment. It's very difficult to develop systems by using such environment. It takes time, longer development times, more cost. But IDE environment will help us to develop RAD applications, very fast applications, because ready-made components available, like manufacturing industry, car manufacturing or product manufacturing industry, in which we have assembly line and ready-made components available. We just assemble them at the assembly line, like Honda, Toyota, or for example Ford. So we have different car manufacturers, brands are there, names are there. So they have suppliers, vendors. So vendors supply them parts like doors, headlight, front window, back window, side windows, mirrors, tires, engine, gearbox. So at the assembly line, they just integrate them. They just assemble them and car is ready. So that's very fast environment. Same like manufacturing industry, in the software, the IDE environment is there, in which we have toolbox available. From the toolbox, we drag and drop, and interface is ready. We just write the code for the new system. So it's very fast, like the manufacturing industry. At mass scale, we can develop applications by using such environment. So form definition we covered. The best business definition for the form, like Forrest Free said, form is a business document. Form is a business document from business terminology. Business document that has some predefined data. Some predefined data and some space needs to be filled by the user. Form is a business document, like registration form. In order to register in bank or website, you have to fill a form. So it is a business document, and you have some predefined data, like name is written, what is the name, contact, address, and the other requirements like ID and, for example, passport or username, password. These are the requirements to fill a form. And then you have empty space, free space, where user will fill the data against the fields like metadata, name, then the actual data, you will write your name, then you contact, metadata, and the actual data, your contact, the address, mobile number, and father name, mother name, for example. So that's the business definition. And for technical definition, we covered it's a container. Okay, report. Report is also a business document which is generated from user's perspective. Okay, then the next part we have interfaces and dialogue. So you have to design your interfaces in terms of forms and reports. That's part of the logical design, and it's also covered the dialogues, that how system will interact with the system, user will interact with the system. And then for the database, you have normalization. So what is normalization? A complex data structure into simple and stable data structure. So we remove the redundancy or duplication between the among the data, dependency between or among the data. That's the job of normalization. Then you have physical design. So we cover forms, reports, interfaces, dialogue. So these are some guidelines to design forms and reports. Who is going to use the form, when the form and report are going to be generated, where they are going to be delivered, what are the purposes of the form and report, and how many users, how many people are going to use them. Okay. Any question up to here? Any question up to here? So we have interface specifications, the screenshot of the interface, the form or report name, the user, then the task, and then the system, what operating system we are using, environment, it is internal environment, office environment, or external environment like mobile environment, ATM environment, what is the speed, what is the accuracy, what is the efficiency, how much the time it takes to load. That's the specs, interface specs for our forms and for our reports. Then you have physical design. In the physical design, we have to, after normalization, we know what are the main entities. Entities mean the main tables. What are the attributes, the field names, like for example, student table and student attributes, STID, ST name, semester number, and so on. And then course entity, the course table, course ID, course name, credit hours, and so on. So that's the different entities we have defined and the main attributes. So we will physically design our database, tables, and fields. That's the first part of the physical design from backend database point of view. And then from coding point of view, from the front end point of view, for structured systems, structured development, we have hierarchical charts or system charts. We use hierarchical chart to do functional decomposition. What is functional decomposition? Functional decomposition means divide the main functions into smaller functions. It is also called stepwise refinement. Stepwise refinement. We divide. It's also called divide and conquer approach. Divide and conquer. So we break down the larger problem into smaller problem or pieces or chunks or procedures, functions. So that's hierarchical chart is used. It is like the organizational chart. Like for example, we have King Abdulaziz University is an organization. It has administration, it has faculty. In the administration, we have president, we have vice presidents, and then at the college level, at the departments level, we have faculties like FCIT, Faculty of Computing, Kulial Hasbat, wa Takniyal Malumat, then engineering department, then medical department, then English department, then management sciences department, environmental sciences. So we have so many colleges, so many faculties, and we have 140 departments, more than 140 departments in the King Abdulaziz University. So we show dean, then vice dean, then chairman, then faculty, professor, associate professor, assistant professor, lecturers, TA, and then staff, clerical staff, and then Madir, the manager, Amid, and so on. So these are the hierarchy. We break down from top to down, that we cannot further break it down at the most linear level. So we use hierarchical or system charts as a graphical technique. After this, we have to develop the logic, the algorithm designing of our system, of our code. So algorithm is a way of writing step-by-step solution of the problem. This is the definition of algorithm. So how many techniques are there for algorithm designing? We have 5 techniques: pseudocode, flowchart, we have decision table, decision tree, and NS diagram. NS stands for Nassy-Schusterman, which is very difficult name, so we use the short abbreviation NS diagram. Flowchart is the most widely used technique to design the algorithm. So this is today's lecture.